Hello, everyone. Welcome to Engaged Citizens of Columbia County. I'm your host, Sherry Ryan. And today I am joined with Ryan Welby, who is running for the CRFR board. Welcome, Ryan.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Oh, my goodness. I so appreciate you coming and talking to our community and taking the time to just put your info and your just all your, ideas out there for the public. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course,
So we're just
I'm
going to
pleasure to be
jump right
here.
into it, okay? So tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've lived here, etc.
So I moved here as a freshman in high school. My parents decided that Portland was not the best environment to raise three kids, so we moved out here, and I went to high school at St. Helens. So
Okay.
my sisters did too. We're all still here in the community. After graduating high school, I went up to Bonnie Lake, Washington for about 10 years for work. And then 2006, I moved down back to St. Helens and got a job down here in construction. And I've been here ever since. So,
Nice. Oh my goodness. So can you tell us, what is your why? Why are you running for the board for Columbia Fire Rescue? Why are you running? What is your why? What's motivating you, Ryan?
so, I have some friends that are in the fire department, and I was kind of brought to speed about like what's going on with the fire department, the current affairs, and this is before the whole the lawsuit, which oh wow, but the mismanagement of funds and the lack of accountability. I mean,
Mm,
from a construction standpoint, I don't understand why the board approved remodeling the district office when I was hearing stories back from 2021 of the leaking sewer pipes in the fire station in St. Helens and the roof leaks. And it baffled me. So, I mean, that's really why I decided to do this because I don't feel like there's anybody that's down there that has any sense of construction,
mm,
and leading. It seemed to me, I started my business in 2015 part time, and my first work truck was a 2007 Dodge Ram pickup, and I didn't go out and buy all the new stuff right away. We rented equipment in the beginning. Our guys had the good tools. We didn't do that for ourselves,
mhm.
so doesn't sound like a very good sound business strategy to me. And it kind of seems like showboating, right? Oh, I get here, I'm going to make the district office be this, grand monstrosity, and yet the guys that are actually doing the work, they don't have the tools they need to get their job done, or the good living conditions. I wouldn't want to have sewage dripping on me. That's gross.
Yeah.
So that's honestly why I did it.
Wow. So, you found out what was going on and you're like, you know what? I really want to make a difference in this. This is what I
Like
want to
that.
do. That's great.
Yeah,
Um,
I got to get into it. Wow.
So can you tell us a little bit about, from your knowledge of what does a board member do? What does that, position entail?
So the board essentially is to be the voice of the taxpayers and the residents of Columbia County.
Hmm.
And the board approves or denies policies. They oversee purchases, capital projects like the remodel of
Hmm.
the district station, and we regulate the finances that the people pay taxes for. I mean, essentially.
Hmm.
So with
Okay.
the district has one employee, and that is the fire chief, and we make sure that he's doing the right thing. So and
Hmm.
asking questions and holding him accountable, in my opinion.
Hmm. Yeah. You're like the overseer of Columbia River Fire and Rescue and, managing that employee and that he is managing the
Yeah.
employees that work there. And so you guys are over
Yeah,
him.
and listening not only the employees but the taxpayers as well. So, and
Yeah.
giving truthful information.
Yes.
So,
Which in my mind is like the biggest and most important, honestly, is, making that, those decisions and helping, make those decisions that, you were voted in to make, right? Voted in to listen and, so what makes you qualified? What are your qualifications for being a board member?
well, I've been a civil engineer on the I-205 light rail project back in 2007.
Hmm.
I've been a superintendent for uh, one company, well, technically two. I built high rises for 2 years for Hoffman Construction. I was a superintendent for Weedman Excavation, and then obviously I decided to do this on my own, and so now we're a prosperous and growing construction excavation company, and we're doing the St. Helens High School, all the civil work there. We have various other schools in the Portland metro area with budgets and obviously we bid a job with a certain number and we have to make the money work. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I do a good job of working with other trades, other subcontractors that are on the job, like the electricians and the plumbers and all that kind of stuff, so that I understand, what their needs are, and that way I can get my work done as well and it flows well.
Yeah.
So I try to be really proactive in that. I feel like my background of being a superintendent for Hoffman, the general contractor, really helped me with that.
Hmm.
Um, so I like everything to go smooth. You do it one way, the right way. You don't get paid to do it twice.
Great mantra. Get her done,
That's what
right?
I got.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you see that the Columbia River Fire and Rescue is doing well, their board and the whole entity? And what are some things that maybe you're like, this is not going well, and I would like to come in and help make a difference or help, grow or evolve that situation?
I think that they're attempting to look into the future by, exploring putting a new station out in Columbia City. They're looking at statistics and they're checking out the increased call volumes and the potential need for the future. So I do think that they're doing something good there.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
yeah, and we have a decent training facility. There's some things that needs to be repaired for it to be fully operational, but I feel like our training, once the training center gets up and totally running, I think that would be a huge benefit for our
Mm,
firefighters and EMTs and paramedics.
yeah, for sure. Very important.
Yeah, training. I
Hmm.
spend a lot of time and money in training my guys, for checking grade, because if they don't know how to do it,
Hmm.
somebody taught me to teach them. So it's an investment in our future, and but I think it's something that every business has to do, and sometimes they struggle with it. But
Yeah, yeah. And so you would like to improve that?
yes, definitely, I think that
Okay.
I think that we that there needs to be improvement in the employee retention and recruitment. I
Hmm.
think that and some of that obviously is monetary. I
Hmm.
think that there has to be incentives. I mean, if
Yeah,
they could, our firefighters and paramedics can go to Portland and make $10 more an hour, and they got to drive a half hour, then they're gonna go. I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, milk's not getting any cheaper, eggs aren't getting any cheaper. So
No.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Like we have to be competitive with, the areas around us. And it's a reality. We are close to Portland, and so we need to be competitive with them and to be able to retain
Oh,
our employees, right?
I agree. And we don't have a hospital out here either. So we have an
Yeah.
urgent care. Never, to my knowledge, I've never seen a ambulance pull into the urgent care here in St. Helens. They're always on the highway going into Portland, or they're going over the bridge if they're up in Rainier, whatever's closest. And there's
Yeah.
sometimes you'll see three to four ambulances coming back and forth from Portland in a day. I'm like, holy crap, how many firefighters did we have in there? Turns
Right.
out for St. Helens, we usually have at least a bare minimum of six, three paramedics and three EMTs. So,
Okay.
if there's three ambulances out there on a running somebody around, that means there's no firefighters or ambulances in the firehouse. So
For sure. Yeah. That's very important. And it's a big deal. We live in a rural community where we do have to drive a while to get our emergency services, and
well,
that's the
and then you can also look at the fact, they're building those new apartments right there across from Walmart, and
yeah,
that's a federally funded job, and the fire department doesn't get any money from those tenants
yeah,
because it was everything was how it played out with the federal government and the county. So we don't get any money. So and they're anticipating, 2 to 4 calls a day just going there. So, I mean, there's
wow.
going to be a definite increase in needs. So, and I
Yeah,
have parents that are getting older and they're out in the boondocks. So, you know, I want to make
yeah,
sure that all our parents have the right, healthcare, or if somebody has needs, and we're not just using it for a taxi ride into Portland.
yeah,
So
for
I've heard
sure, right? Um, Shifting to a little bit of a serious thing here going on, a situation that we have here in our county is, there's a lot of chatter about the chief and different
that.
things that are going on in that situation. And what would you, if you were elected in as a board member, May 16th, what would be your plan going in as a new board member? How would
Well,
you
I
go?
mean, you're right about the chief being under fire.
Hmm.
That's a whole nother ball of wax that I wasn't prepared to hear. But honestly, I would my first thing to do is I would recommend consulting the legal team for on the issues, as a board member, because honestly, I don't know what the options are entirely, but it would seem like he should be put on administrative leave while everybody kind of figures this out, and there has to be some accountability, and there has to be an audit that would go through the books, and especially with the allegations that are in that lawsuit.
Hmm.
If you're cooking the books, that's not good, and falsifying information. So I would want to see all of the records. I would want to see how you came to this conclusion. Where's the data that supports this? Call times from St. Helens to Columbia City. If you're saying more often than not, well, what does that mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that like 1 out of 5, or is that 4 out of 5?
yeah,
More often than not means severe, and I've I have not seen any data that shows on my limited resources, any data that shows that it is more often than not. So
hmm,
uh, scare tactics don't work on me.
hmm,
Um, I want to see the hard data. If you're going to come to a board meeting and you're going to want to spend $7.5 million on stuff, I want to know where it's going.
yeah,
And I can't just, oh, I'll get it to you later. You know, I'm a
yeah,
volunteer. I'm not going to get paid to do this. So don't
yeah,
waste my
right. And
time.
I
I mean,
mean, and
honestly,
it's a big job as a volunteer. I mean,
well, yeah,
really.
yeah, because then I have to be on the finance committee and oversight committee,
Mhm.
and kind of see all the nuts and bolts and where it's all going, and how it's being spent, and then finally, say, no, I'm sorry, you can't get your it ain't gonna happen. You're
Yeah,
not gonna get
yeah,
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 you
yeah,
know
yeah.
that's
What
not what
I'm sorry.
I said, well, it's
It,
not what the public wants.
yeah,
I understand, the 4-wheel drive ambulances, because, if it's snowing or stormy and icy, we want the firefighters and paramedics to get to the call. I mean,
yeah,
at the end of the day, I have a 4-wheel drive. I live
yeah,
up in the hills.
yeah.
So, you know,
We have to have it, right? When you
Yeah.
live out there, you have to have four-wheel drive. There's just
Yeah. So
no choice,
I understand that. Those
right?
things are not cheap though either. So, you know,
Exactly. You're going to be paying more,
yeah.
investing more for these, for these things to have, right?
Yep.
Um, Yeah. So, Ryan, if you were elected onto the board for Columbia River Fire and Rescue, you've talked a lot about, listening to, the public and such. And so, I would just ask, what would be your plan of how you would engage with the community, with the public to hear from them? What would be kind of your promise or your thoughts about how you would be doing that?
I think that the only announcement we have right now is the for the public meetings is at the crfr.com website.
Okay.
I think that we should do like either a Zoom meeting or figure out a way to get that more published and out there,
Uh-huh.
because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm pretty sure everybody in the community was shocked to hear that not only, are they over budget with the stuff that they have that they want to do now, but all the other allegations, all of the, the mismanagement of money or, proposed mismanagement of money.
Yeah.
And it's hard for it's hard for the public to even get public record on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that maybe starting a social media because we have a social media person,
Hmm.
and really advertise that and get that out and post it either, Facebook. I mean, we all have it, or
Yeah.
some kind of a social outlet that people can click on it and it'll get the community more involved. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to know what's going on. If you don't know what's going on, if you're not informed, then you don't know it's bad, you know?
True
So,
story.
yeah,
Yeah.
I it I would love to have the meetings posted to YouTube after um, the meetings are complete. That way, people we can get feedback right after
Yeah.
the meetings, and a lot of municipalities are doing that right now, and it's great. So,
Yeah.
the public would give us their feedback and approach on an issue. So, because at the end of the day, it's not my money. I mean,
Yeah.
well, it's my money.
Well, a portion is,
No,
right? We put in there.
we all do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as a community, we have to, you got to know. If you don't know, I say this, if you don't vote, you can't complain, you
Yeah.
know?
For
If you're not
sure.
going to listen, then when the police or, any emergency services doesn't show up to your house in a timely fashion, you say, well, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, my goal is to make sure that you have the opportunity to know what's going on.
Yeah. That would be your goal. You're like, I want this to be more readily available to people. I would say in the last year since I, started doing Engaged Citizens is posting everybody's meetings, posting when they are, posting the hot topics of what is going on in meetings. And I feel that our community has, and along with other, entities that have come out, I think, and are getting more active, is that we are getting more engaged and people want to know. And I'm really proud of our community for that. I'm excited. And like you said, the ideas of, putting it on YouTube so that you can see, so people can comment and they can say things, or having it on social media. I know that the city of Scappoose does that. They take their YouTube video of the Zoom that they recorded during their city council meetings and they put it on their City of Scappoose Facebook page, and then people
Yep.
can comment right there. I applaud those kind of efforts made for our community, and really excited to see more and more people doing that, because it's the only way. We can't make it to every meeting. We can't be in the
Yeah,
know of everything, right? I can't ask for, you know, requests for everything that I want to know about. And
I
so
agree.
yeah, and so it's like just being involved is you're going to hear what's going on. If you go to a meeting or you listen to it on your way to work, you're going to know what is going on and what you need to be, doing a call to action for, or, being there for, right?
And it's so easy these days. Technology has come
Yeah,
leaps and bounds, and even 2 years.
totally,
So
totally agree.
I don't think that's far-fetched at all or unreasonable for,
Yeah,
you know, and I'll hold myself accountable too. I mean, if I
yeah,
fail to make this happen, then you'll know why. So, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I
Well,
feel like,
Ryan, thank you. Thank you so much for, just being here and sharing all this. Did you have anything else you wanted to say? I'm so sorry that I cut you
no,
off.
no, not at all. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just excited about this and
Yeah.
flabbergasted, to be quite honest, and
Yeah.
about everything that's transpired, and yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's not me in there, hopefully some of the other guys get in and ask the questions. At the end of the day, you got to
Yeah.
ask. You can't just
Yeah,
sit there and be moved and say, don't be a yes man.
totally. Great observation. Great thing. Um, just ask the questions. I agree. Get engaged, be out there and find answers and be inquisitive. Ryan, thank you so much for joining me, and good luck. And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks. Bye, Ryan.
Bye.